VHS 94 takes a time machine back to the magical year of 1994. It's the year when I first moved away to college and was drinking, I was drinking much shittier beer and trying to still make it to class. Now, I'm drinking better beer and trying to make it to work. So yay progress for me, I guess. Anyway, here's my breakdown of the new VHS Anthology released last week on Shudder. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. VHS 94 is new, streaming on Shudder. It was directed and written by Chloe Okuno, Stephen Kostanski, Simon Barrett, Timo Tjahjanto, Ryan Prows, and Jennifer Reeder. I've been a fan of the VHS series, but I also know it's a grab bag of good and bad shorts. It's just what's going to happen when you give the chosen directors so much freedom to do whatever they want, especially ones who don't have experience working with the found footage format. Some will fly to the stars, and some will sink to the bottom. And yes, that's the case with this new installment, VHS 94. Here's what I thought of each segment. Short film director Chloe Okuno offers up another effective shorty with The Storm Drain, a story about an urban legend of a man-sized rat stalking the sewers of a small town in Ohio. An opportunistic news reporter and her trusty cameraman venture into an open storm drain and come face to face with the monster. This one has one hell of a cool monster effect. It's a man in a suit, but still, even with the lo-fi effects, it makes for an extremely disturbing creature. The story itself is pretty standard and doesn't venture into anything new, but the acting is decent, and Okuno plays with the lights and darks caught by the shoddy camera to an effect that really does make things rather chilling. While this looks like a splice between a 90s local news report and the footage taken by the missing reporter with no explanation as to why the two are edited together in the world of the story, it still makes for an entertaining first segment. The masterful skills behind the camera of Stephen Kostanski are wasted in a mini-short commercial aping the Veggie late-night info commercials. This guy brought forth Lovecraftian weirdness with The Void, Jallo greatness with The Editor, and outdid Trauma with Psycho Gorman. How the hell do you simply put him on a 3-minute segment and not let him go nuts with a found footage format? Bummer. You're Next and Seance's Simon Barrett conducts The Empty Wake, one of the better installments. Barrett's segment is wonderfully paced, culminating in a fiasco of biblical proportions while never leaving character behind. This one is what the title suggests. A funeral home worker is in charge of overseeing the midnight wake of a man who killed himself, but no one shows up. With a tornado brewing outside and strange knockings coming from inside the closed casket, this segment is full of tension and suspense. Once the gore starts, it's potent as hell too. Barrett cleverly takes full advantage of the first-person motif, though he does cheat by switching to multiple cameras to tell the entire story. Still, this was a really good segment, if not the best of the bunch. The multiple camera cheat is used in pretty much all of the stories in VHS 94, where, in the past, it hasn't been really much of an issue. In pretty much any profession, if you've had 1,000 hours of experience or have done something 1,000 times, you're considered to be an expert. Having reviewed hundreds of films during the found footage boom of the 2010s up until now, I guess that makes me somewhat of an expert in found footage films. I do like these types of films, but I also know what ruins them for me. And one of them is cheating by using multiple angles to tell a story when there's no way in the world of the story someone would be able to gather all of the footage from multiple formats and edit them all together. VHS 94 prompted me to ask, who in the world of the story is editing this footage together? It shatters the suspension of disbelief of the found footage format, a genre that relies on making the viewer believe this footage was indeed found and untouched by anyone but the cameraman. If there's an omniscient editor in these videos, then why don't they just find completely edited movies on these tapes? But I digress. The madman behind the insane Safe Haven segment from VHS 2 comes back to churn out The Subject, about a mad scientist that has found the link between man and machine by crafting two killing machines out of abducted people. This is Timo Tjahjanto's segment, and it disappointed me to no end, especially after seeing what he did with Safe Haven. The subject is extremely derivative of Adam Wingard's segment, Phase 1 Clinical Trials from VHS 2, as the found footage comes from a camera implanted within the heads of the test subjects. If you want to see this idea taken to truly dank and horrifying depths, watch The Butcher, as that film really captures the terror of knowing that every crazy moment you see is experienced by a terrified person with a camera bolted to them. I'm not a fan of video games, so maybe the first-person shooter crowd will dig this segment. For me, the subject left me cold. Again, multiple camera edits are spliced together to shatter the suspension of disbelief here. It's pretty disappointing. Ryan Prows, who dazzled us all with his violent epic Lowlife, offers up Terror, a tale about a small-time military group plotting to use something supernatural to destroy a major building in downtown Detroit. The night before they start the revolution, what else should they do but party down? Of course, this causes a few of the more inebriated rebels to fuck up the entire plan, and soon there's a monster on the loose in the camp. Not only is this a timely story, but the acting is top-notch, and more so than most of the other stories, this one is filled with moments of mystery and sheer terror. There are also some great monster effects, as well as quite a bit of nice goppy gore. Prows truly is a talent to look out for, as he makes this one, despite once again using the cheat of switching to multiple camera angles, one hell of a way to bring the movie to an end. Knives and Skin's Jennifer Reeder is in charge of the wraparound, entitled Holy Hell. It's always a tough job to do, as somehow you're in charge of tying all of these stories together as seamlessly as possible. This one involves a tactical police team raiding a warehouse that is supposed to be filled with drugs and dealers, but instead they find it full of television monitors and strange videotapes. Each tape plays an installment in the film. Holy Hell does its job, to which I mean it keeps the pace moving. There's a story to be told. It all culminates to something as the cops realize that the warehouse is much more than just a simple drug bust, but it also ends the film with some really shoddy acting, so it kind of shoots itself in the foot during the big reveal. VHS 94 does seem, more so than any of the other films, that it's all occurring in the same universe. There are mentions of a dark god named Ratma in the first segment, a ritualistic suicide in The Empty Wake, mad science conspiracy in The Specimen, and ties to the Wutan cult by the Detroit military in Terror. It makes me want to rewatch the films to look for more ties. Even the wraparound gives clues as to what the tapes are and how they are illegally distributed. All answers aren't given, but Ratma sure looks like the monster in the VHS 2 wraparound, and a lot of the cult stuff looks derivative of the Safe Haven segment from VHS 2 as well. I like those little nuggets suggesting a shared universe more than I like the film, I think. All in all, VHS contains some great, Barrett's The Empty Wake and Prows' Terror, and some middling to okay, aka the rest of the film. If you're a fan of these movies, there's more to like. If not, there's more to get annoyed by. It's not the best of the series, but it's definitely not the worst, and I'd be welcome to more yearly installments of VHS focusing on other years of the VHS boom. What about you? Are you fans of the VHS series? Which were your favorites? Let me know down in the comments. That'll be it for today. Please chime in down below in the comments and let me know how on the nose or mind-numbingly wrong I am, or you can counter with your own review. So guys, you know how YouTube works. I'd love to be able to dedicate more time to this channel. I'm not monetized yet, so if you want to help me out, remember to hit all the pertinent bells and whistles down below. Want some spooky comics to read? I have 2 new horror comic book trade paperbacks you should look out for. Both Gravetrancers and Pirouette, collecting never-before-published issues, can be found in only the finest of comic book shops. If you're looking for written reviews, you can find them on my website, mlmillerwrites.com. If you really want to show your support, I also have a Patreon page at mlmiller. Look for the link to my Patreon page down below. Thank you so much for your time, and take care.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your